I'm not looking at a tax cut now. We don't need it. We have a strong economy.
President Trump says no new tax cuts. That's today's show. Let's dive into it. Here we are at our very first rental property. What's up, everyone? Clayton Morris here, longtime real estate investor, founder of Morris Invest, and helping you build financial intelligence so you can build financial freedom. I care about where your money goes right now, and you should pay attention to what politicians are saying in this economy. So, 48 hours after President Trump came out and said he was considering potential capital gains tax cuts and payroll tax cuts.
Payroll tax is something that we think about.
The president is now saying, we don't need it. Our economy is strong. We don't need any of these tax cuts. We don't need payroll tax cuts. We don't need capital gains tax cuts. Listen to the president.
I'm not looking at a tax cut now. We don't need it. We have a strong economy. Certainly a payroll tax cut. President Obama did that in order to artificially jack up the economy. President Obama had zero interest rates. I don't have zero interest. I have real interest rates. And despite that, I have a strong economy.
So the White House now saying that the economy is strong. We don't have to do these tax cuts because the economy is plugging along just nicely. What do you think about that? I'd love to hear your thoughts on where you see the economy going. Leave some comments in the description below. Also, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. So the White House is now saying we don't need these tax cuts. We don't need payroll tax cuts. We don't need capital gains tax cuts. That we are burning and churning. Unemployment numbers are at record low right now. Consumer confidence is through the roof. We don't need any of these tax cuts that we were talking about maybe 48 hours earlier. Now, we did see a 3% decline in the stock market last week. So where is some of this anxiety coming from? And if you see a video that I just published the other day, because people are pointing to Trump's nervousness about the economy. So 48 hours later, we have this response from the White House saying,
President Obama did 2 payroll tax cuts, and despite that, I have a much stronger economy. And if you look at my numbers from November 9th, you look at them, November 9th to present, the stock market is up over 50%.
Economy is strong. We don't have anything to worry about. Where do you see this? I'd love to hear in the comments below your thoughts. Where do you see the current economy? Are you excited? Are you anxious? Where is your money? Where are you putting your money right now? Let's provide some context. So earlier in the week, the president was considering a sort of a vitamin B shot to the stomach of the economy to make sure that this economy keeps burning and churning. The president was considering a payroll tax cut, which means more people would be able to keep more money out of their paycheck every week in their wallets. Great. That sounded like a big boon to the economy, but it also would fund Social Security. What's going to happen with Social Security, which is already collapsing? So you take from the payroll tax, that goes to Social Security and Medicare. What's going to happen there? But apparently that's now off the table. The president doesn't think we need it. The economy is burning and churning. Another thing that the president was considering was a capital gains tax. He then addressed this in the press conference yesterday.
I've looked at indexing for a long time. It's not something I love. I think it's probably better for the high-income people, and I'm not looking to do that. I want to do for the workers.
And the president didn't pull any punches, also going after the mainstream media, saying all of this talk about Chinese trade war causing recession is just fake news. Listen.
The fake news, of which many of you are members, is trying to convince the public to have a recession. Let's have a recession. The United States is doing phenomenally well. But one thing I have to do is economically take on China, because China has been ripping us off for many years. President Clinton, President Bush, and President Obama and others should have done this long before me. My life would be much easier, although I enjoy doing it, but my life would be much easier if I just said, let China continue to rip off the United States, all right? It'd be much easier, but I can't do that.
Many of you know who watched this channel for a long time know that I took my money out of the stock market years ago, and I took it out during the Obama administration. I did not want another repeat of what happened to my 401k in 2007, 2008, in the Bush to Obama transition, okay? I did not want that to happen again, where I lost nearly my entire 401k. Entire retirements were decimated as a result of the recession. So when you have your money tied up in the stock market, mutual funds, ETFs, in your 401k, I'm telling you, you are sitting on a disaster waiting to happen. So where in the world do I put my money? Well, I think you know, real estate. I invest heavily in real estate, tangible assets, things that will produce cash flow monthly, things that are real assets, gold, silver, and real estate. You know, historically, real estate has appreciated, right? It's always been a hedge against inflation. And people will say, well, what happens in an economy with all these real estate investors? Tenants are not going to pay rent. Well, yeah, they are. Historically, look at the data. That if you have a luxury high-rise, you may have to decrease your rent significantly, but I don't invest in A-class luxury high-rises. The types of properties that I do at my company and the types of properties I invest in are hardworking, affordable houses, and we have an incredible demand for affordable housing in this country. Don't believe me? Look it up. Look it up. People need a place to live. So you're either going to get a mortgage and live someplace and buy a house, or you're going to rent. Those are two choices, right? And so I like to invest in areas where people rent because it's incredibly difficult to get a mortgage. It still is incredibly difficult to get a mortgage, and there's an incredible demand for affordable housing. So I took all of my money out of the stock market and I put it all into rental real estate. And I have been able to achieve financial freedom as a result of that. And I've been able to weather recessions as a result of that. So again, yes, you may have to decrease rent if you're a landlord in certain locations, but you still have an asset, you still have a tangible asset that is appreciating in value, and it can never go down to $0 in value, unlike the stock market. The stock market can go down to $0 in value. So owning real things, real assets, don't go down to $0 in value. Even if the house burns down, you still have insurance on the property to replace it, plus the value of the land is still worth something. So that's why those big investors, those smart investors, always have a huge portfolio of real estate, and they own precious metals. Bottom line. So all you need to do is look historically at successful investors and how they've done it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. But if all of your eggs are in mutual funds and 401k ETF basket right now, so there you go. We'll keep our eyes on what's happening out of the White House right now, but this is what is being said today from the White House. No tax cuts. Don't worry about it. The economy is strong. What do you think? Do you think the economy is strong? How's it affecting you personally? I would love to hear it in the comments below, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video, everyone.